Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something I bet almost every single one of us has felt. That weird, nagging guilt you get when you just try to take a break. It's one of the strangest things about modern life, right? And we are going to get to the bottom of why it happens. You know the feeling. You finally sit down, maybe you've got a coffee, you're ready to chill, and then that little voice in your head starts up. You could be answering emails, or you really should be starting on that project. If that sounds at all familiar, well, you are definitely in the right place.
And here's the most important thing to get right from the start. This feeling, it is not a personal failure. It's not you being lazy. It is a deep, deep glitch in our programming, an evolutionary trap that we've all walked right into. So, let's figure out what's really going on.
First, we've got to look at the world around us. We are absolutely swimming in a culture that treats being busy as a badge of honor. From the time we're kids, we're basically taught to connect how much we're worth with how much we get done. And these pressures just pile on top of each other. That whole work hard, play hard idea, it makes it sound like even our fun has to be productive. Then you open up social media, and it's just this endless stream of everyone else's successes, which gives you this constant anxiety that you're falling behind if you're not always grinding. But, there's a bit of a rebellion brewing. While the main culture sees busyness as a status symbol, there's this growing slow life movement. And its whole goal is about being present, not just being productive. It's a sign that maybe, just maybe, things are starting to change. But it's not just the outside world, is it? A huge piece of this guilt comes from a battle inside our own heads. We get genuine rest mixed up with its evil twin, procrastination. And on the surface, they can feel kind of similar, but trust me, they could not be more different.
So here's the real difference. Rest actually fills your tank back up. It's a strategic, necessary part of being a healthy, effective person. Procrastination, that does the exact opposite. You're avoiding something, and that avoidance is just draining your battery through stress. It's not rest at all, it's an energy leak.
And what's really interesting is that psychologists see procrastination as a coping mechanism. We're putting something off because we want to avoid a bad feeling. It could be the fear that we'll fail, or even the fear of what happens if we succeed and get more responsibility. So when you're procrastinating, you're not actually resting, you're just hiding.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute core of the problem. Even when we're trying to genuinely rest, not procrastinate, why does our brain still fight us? Well, the answer is buried deep in our ancient survival software.
I want you to just think about it from our ancestors' perspective for a second. If you were out on the savannah, just chilling out in the open, that was an incredibly bad idea. It made you a target. So our brains developed a very simple life-saving rule. Being inactive is dangerous. And that little piece of software, it is still running in our 21st century brains. And here's exactly how that chain reaction happens. Step 1, you decide to stop and rest. Step 2, your ancient brain goes, whoa, unsafe. Step 3, the amygdala, your brain's little threat detector, sounds the alarm. But since there's no actual predator in your living room, your modern brain has to make sense of that alarm signal, and it interprets it as guilt or anxiety that you should be doing something.
But here's where the whole story gets flipped on its head, because while you think you're doing nothing, your brain is actually entering one of its most productive and important states. It is time to talk about the secret work your brain does when you rest.
First of all, let's just bust this myth of the lazy brain. Your brain is a tiny part of your body weight, like 2%, but it burns a whopping 20% of your body's energy. And here's the wild part. That number barely goes down when you're resting. Your brain is always hard at work. So, what is it doing with all that power? It's activating something neuroscientists have called the default mode network. As soon as you stop focusing on a task, this whole other network inside your brain lights up. Think of it as your brain's creative and reflective powerhouse. And this is its to-do list. While you're daydreaming or just staring out the window, your brain is busy locking in memories, connecting random ideas to create those amazing aha moments, processing your emotions, and even planning for the future. This is not wasted time. This is essential mental work. So, now that we know all this, how do we actually fight back against that guilt? How do we reclaim our right to rest? Well, it all starts with this new understanding. If you take away just one thing today, let it be this. That guilt you feel is not your fault. It's an old, outdated piece of survival software misfiring in a world it wasn't designed for. It's a system glitch, not a character flaw. And just knowing that can be incredibly freeing. And this is such a crucial reminder.
We have to learn to separate our feeling of self-worth from our to-do lists. Your value as a human being has absolutely nothing to do with how productive you were today. You are so much more than what you accomplish.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know rest isn't the opposite of work, it's just a different and vital kind of work, are you ready to finally give yourself permission to do absolutely, wonderfully nothing?